Back in the days of my childhood, in the evening when everything was still, I used to sit and listen to the foxhounds with my dad in the old Kentucky hills. I'm on my way back to the old home. The road winds on up the hill, but there's no light in the window that shined long ago where I lived.
I hear a voice calling. It must be our Lord. It's coming from heaven on high. I hear a voice calling. Hearken, the reward for the land where we never shall die. I hear a voice calling. Hearken, the reward for the land where we never shall die.
Things have really changed. They're not like they was back when I was. I'll never forget the old days, years and years ago when I was a little boy. I'd like to get out, and travel around over the hills and sing to myself, and see how it would sound, singing the blues or some good gospel song.
I long for you each night and day when the roses bloom in old Kentucky. I'll be coming back to stay. I'm going back to old Kentucky.
There to see Marlin Avenue. I'm going back to old Kentucky, where the skies are always blue.
In 1911, Bill Monroe was born in western Kentucky. The story of bluegrass is the story of his musical legacy.
She is a beauty. Those pretty brown eyes I love so well. I'm going back to old Kentucky. Never more to say farewell.
I'm going back to old Kentucky. Now to see Marlin Avenue. I'm going back to old Kentucky, where the skies are always blue.
walk through the house singing, you know. And she could play the fiddle. But she had to cook for, 8 children, and her husband, my father. And so that taken a lot of her time. She'd go by the bed where she left her fiddle and pick it up and play a number, an old-time fiddle number. And it was just wonderful.
Across the South in Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, and North Carolina, descendants of Scotch-Irish settlers played songs brought from across the sea. Old tunes like Soldier's Joy, Fair and Tender Ladies, and Building the Low Ground rang through Appalachia as they had for centuries in the British Isles. For families that toiled in cotton fields and coal mines, music was one of life's few enjoyments. I remember folks gather up in the evenings after they had supper, and there's a little radio that you'd listen to on weekends, but no TV, of course. And so we'd gather up and sing the old songs and exchange ideas and such as that. It was just a way of life, really.
Just a village and a homestead on the farm, and a mother's love to shield you from all harm. A mother's love so true, a sweetheart that loves you. A village and a homestead on the farm. You could hear the cattle lowing in the lane. You could see the fields of bluegrass where I'd roam. You could almost hear them cry as they kissed the boy goodbye. Well, I wonder how the old folks are at home.
Late in the evening, about sundown, high on a hill above the town, Uncle Pen played the fiddle, Lord, how it would ring. You could hear it talk, you could hear it sing. Uncle Pen Vandiver was the first man that I ever heard play a fiddle, and I believe I was about 6 years old the first time I ever heard him play. He got the wonderful Scotch-Irish sound out of it. He was a wonderful uncle, and he'd always bring the fiddle, and we'd get to hear the fiddle. After we'd have supper of a night, we'd sit around the fireplace, and he'd play the fiddle. And he played numbers like Jenny Lynn, Sally Gooden, Going Across the Sea. Would you let me play one? Going Across the Sea. We was always glad to have Uncle Pen. He'd always come in on his horse, put the horse up there and feed him. But I could hear him sit out on the back porch and play that fiddle. Oh, the people would come from far away. They'd dance all night till the break of day. When the caller hollered, do-si-do, we knew Uncle Pen was ready to go.
The people would come from far away to dance all night till the break of day. When the caller hollered, do-si-do, you knew Uncle Pen was ready to go. Hey, and about sundown, how on the hill in the above the town. Lady did a lot of how it rang, you could hear it talk, you could hear it sing.
Monroe combined the old-time folk music of his childhood with the fast-paced rhythms of the world beyond his Kentucky home. In the late 1940s, Monroe's sound came to be called bluegrass. It embodied hillbilly styles, but with a high pitch and fast tempo. Some called it folk music with overdrive.
And about sundown, how on the hill in above the town. Uncle Pen played the fiddle, Lord, how it rang, you could hear it talk, you could hear it sing. Forget that mournful day when fiddle. They hung up his bow and knew it was time for him to go. Playing evening by sundown, how on the hill and above the town. Now friend played the fiddle, Lord, how the ring. You could hear it talk, you could hear it sing.
No, I may not be able to walk
Like him,
I may not be able to talk
like him,
but I'm willing to try. I may not be able to stand so tall. I may not have the endurance of Moses in the wilderness, but I'm willing to try. Religion played a big role in our lives growing up. We went to the old primitive Baptist church, and they didn't have any instruments or anything, so they done the singing without any music. And I would just sit back and listen. In that dear old village churchyard, I can see a mossy mound. There's where my poor mother's sleeping in a cold and silent ground. If you have friends in glory land who left because of pain, thank God up there they'll die no more. They'll suffer not again. Then weep not, friends, I'm going home. Up there we'll die no more. No coffins will be made up there. No graves on that bright shore.
Well, I used to hear them sing in churches, you know, and they'd have tenor singers, you know, and ladies, they'd be singing the alto. My brothers, well, they all went to the singing school in the church. But there was no use me going because I couldn't see the notes or anything, you see, and they couldn't learn me anything. So I just decided that I would learn my music by ear and always do it that way. Well, I was awful bashful when I was a kid growing up. I just wanted to sing for myself, let me hear it. A lot of times out by myself, you know, just walking around through the field, you know, doing working with horses and cattle, and I'd be singing to myself, and I didn't want nobody else to hear me because I didn't know whether they'd like me or not, you see.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when
Oh, mercy. They cut all the timber off of this side of that mountain. Back then, it's just more or less a wilderness. There hadn't been any timber cut in this country anywhere when this house was built. They built a railroad, and they cut timber all over this country, hauled them down in here up to there on the train.
Southern industry changed more than just the land. It brought rural whites into contact with a new culture and a new kind of music.
If you want to ride, you got to ride it like it's fine. Buy your ticket at the station on the Rock Island Line.
As the railroad cut into remote mountain hollers, the hills echoed with the shouts of black laborers. The banjo had been played on plantations since the 18th century. It was brought to America by African slaves. Traveling minstrels played African rhythms with accents shifting to the offbeat. These syncopated rhythms opened a new world of musical possibilities. Camp meetings rang with gospel spirituals. Hoedowns reeled with bluesy fiddles. Throughout the South, African freighting styles mixed with Gaelic mountain melodies.
One time, a good gentleman named Arnold Shoes, a black man, come up here and visit us. He was a most wonderful guitar man that could play the blues that you ever listened to. It was Arnold Shoes. And so, and he could also play the fiddle. And one time he was up around Rosine, and they wanted us to play for a square dance there. So Arnold played the fiddle, and I played the guitar. Now, you might not believe this, but this is right. We started around sunset in the evening, and we was playing the next morning. And later on, when I was putting my music together, I remember how he played the blues and everything, you know, so I was going to add some blues to my music.